The men in black, what are they actually? The men in black phenomenon begins, documentably, with Albert K. Bender. In 1952, Bender founded the International Flying Saucer Bureau and published a newsletter about UFO sightings. In 1953, he abruptly shut down the newsletter and disbanded the organization. He told colleagues that 3 men in black suits had visited him and warned him to stop his UFO research. He was frightened enough to comply. He eventually wrote a book called Flying Saucers and the 3 Men that described the visit. Bender's account established the template that hundreds of subsequent witnesses would independently replicate. The accounts of MIB encounters share consistent features that are striking given that most witnesses had no knowledge of each other's reports. The men arrive shortly after a UFO sighting. They are always 2 or 3 in number. They dress in black suits, white shirts, and black ties that appear new but outdated. Witnesses often describe the suits as wrong, like clothes from another era. They drive large black cars, usually American, often appearing newer than they should. Their skin is described as unusually pale or waxy. Their facial features are flat or wrong. Their eyes may be unusual colors. Their speech is slightly off, stilted, formal, or accented in an unidentifiable way. The knowledge problem is central to MIB accounts. Witnesses report that the men in black know specific, accurate details about the UFO sighting that were not publicly known, sometimes details the witness hadn't told anyone. They know the witness's name, address, and sometimes occupation without being introduced. They reference specific features of the sighting accurately. Some witnesses report that the men knew things about their personal lives that they could not have learned through ordinary investigation. This foreknowledge is among the most consistently reported and most difficult to explain features of MIB encounters. Conventional government agency explanation for men in black proposes that they are real government agents, possibly from the Air Force Office of Special Investigations, CIA, NSA, or another agency, tasked with intimidating UFO witnesses into silence to protect classified technology or operations. This explanation accounts for some features: the authority, the knowledge from surveillance, the intimidation. It doesn't account for the physical descriptions. No government agency employs men with pale, waxy skin, flat effect, and wrong clothing. It doesn't account for the specifically wrong physical features that witnesses consistently describe. The more extreme theories propose that men in black are not human government agents but something else. Alien beings posing as human agents, interdimensional entities, or robotic constructs operated by some advanced intelligence. These theories explain the physical wrongness, the inability to walk naturally, the stilted speech, the flat effect, as the limitation of something non-human attempting to impersonate a human. Several researchers have noted that MIB descriptions resemble descriptions of grays in human clothing, more than descriptions of any known human population. The psychological explanation for men in black proposes that the encounters are a product of post-sighting anxiety, cultural expectation, and the reconstructive nature of memory. Someone who has had an unusual experience and is anxious about it may interpret a visit from strangers, insurance investigators, government census workers, curious neighbors, through the lens of their anxiety and create a memory consistent with MIB accounts. The cultural template established by Bender in the 1950, amplified by Hollywood films, provides a ready-made framework for this reconstruction. This explanation is coherent, but doesn't easily account for the consistency of physical descriptions across witnesses from different eras and cultures. Some of the best documented MIB accounts come from credentialed witnesses. Dr. Herbert Hopkins, a hypnotist who was working with a UFO witness in 1976, reported a MIB visit in detail. A caller who claimed to be from a UFO organization asked to visit arrived almost immediately, impossibly fast, and displayed the wrong appearance: a bald, pale man in a black suit whose lips were oddly red. Hopkins reported that as the man spoke, the redness faded from his lips as if his cosmetics were wearing off. The man left abruptly, and Hopkins later saw his car, a 1968 Cadillac, driving with no headlights in the dark. The men in black remain unexplained. The government agency theory is the most prosaic, but fails to account for the consistently wrong physical descriptions. The alien or interdimensional theory accounts for the wrongness but requires accepting the extraordinary. The psychological theory is coherent but faces the consistency problem. What we know is this. For over 70 years, UFO witnesses across the world have reported visits from men who look almost but not quite right, who know things they shouldn't, and who warn them to be silent. Whatever they are, they have succeeded in their stated purpose. Most of the witnesses they visit never speak publicly about what they saw.